Attention filmmakers. Are you interested in making a B-movie thriller about a sinister media corporation? A company with close ties to a secretive, hardline government? How does military intrigue sound? What about a sexual scandal? A company that treats its employees like chattel? If you like this storyline, you may want to take a look at Sinclair Broadcast Group. Here's the pitch. A wealthy family in Maryland begins buying up local TV stations, forming a media conglomerate. They also invest in companies that make hardware used by U.S. military special forces in the name of anti-terrorism. They choose as their public face Mark Hyman, a former intelligence officer connected with the Center for Science-Based Public Policy in Annapolis, an organization underwritten by ExxonMobil. That think tank's important work? Denying that mercury in fish affects human health. Denying that pollution causes asthma. You get the idea. Hyman likes the feel of the lights on his face, so he begins dishing out a regular helping of right-wing diatribes, then ramming them down the throats of the company's 56 local TV affiliates.
No politician in America has a darker history with the waters off Martha's Vineyard than Senator Ted Kennedy. The Chappaquiddick Kid has been leading a 3-year-old battle to stop a windmill.
Sometimes these poorly written little rants are packaged as editorial. Other times, Sinclair forgets to label Hyman's section as commentary. So guess what? Viewers think they are watching news. Oops.
The stories have persisted for 3 months now. A small group of vocal critics have claimed the November presidential election was stolen. They point to Ohio and claim that thousands of reliable Democratic voters were disenfranchised.
To save money, Sinclair has been downsizing news divisions at many of its local affiliates and replacing local news with something called News Central content. That's a nice way of describing prepackaged infomercials and propaganda. They create these pieces in their Maryland studios, purposely making them look like part of your local news.
Certainly, political speech disguised as news content is not the way to serve the public good.
The election may have pushed one Hollywood type right over the edge. Ever since Bush won re-election, Vincent D'Onofrio, star of Law and Order: Criminal Intent, has been getting into fights and reportedly passed out on the set this week. D'Onofrio was a big Kerry supporter and was described as devastated by his loss. Crew members say he's pretty much lost all grip with reality since election night and is slowing the show's shooting schedule with his outbursts. On a lighter political note, we told you last week that the First Family is getting a new member. Miss Beasley, the president's new puppy, will move in around Christmas and will look a lot like current first pup, Barney. She's named after a dinosaur in the children's book, The Enormous Egg, but the book's author was a staunch Democrat.
When the United States invaded Iraq, Sinclair really found its calling. Top brass at the company ordered local affiliates to make public statements supporting the illegal invasion. They also tried to swift-boat John Kerry with a one-sided documentary just days before the 2004 election. At the last minute, however, after a public outcry, they softened that programming. C'est la vie. Oh, sorry. Did I mention that Mark Hyman hates the French? He refers to them as cheese-eating surrender monkeys.
Lunch Lady Doris, why are you here?
Budget cuts. They've even got groundskeeper Willie teaching French.
Bonjour, you cheese-eating surrender monkeys!
In September 2004, Jadu Power Systems was awarded a large contract with the U.S. Military Special Forces Command. Why is this relevant? Because Sinclair owns a major share of Jadu. Is it any surprise that Sinclair's Mark Hyman wants to add to our out-of-control military budget? A few weeks ago, Hyman attacked Move On, the progressive fundraising group. I guess they must be getting to him.
America may love a loser, but enough is enough. MoveOn.org is the organization that comprises some of the foot soldiers in French convict George Soros' Army of Intolerance.
Americans love a loser? Are we talking about America as in the USA? I must have missed the Yankees ticker tape parade back in 2003 after they lost the World Series. Speaking of losers, Liberty News TV purchased a copy of a financial report analyzing Sinclair Broadcasting's money-making potential. Guess what Sinclair Broadcasting got on their report card? An F. That's right, F. The lowest possible score. Imagine if your kid came home from school with a big F on his report card. Would you take away a few privileges, perhaps? Or reward his low scores? Maybe it's just a coincidence, but the value of Sinclair's stock declined dramatically after 2003, the same period that Mark Hyman has been editorializing so aggressively.
If you work for Sinclair, chances are you already know that you would be better off having a union representation. They are, in my opinion, a very arrogant, belligerent employer. They do not really care about people. And I know that, speaking for myself and most of our members, I would not want to work for a Sinclair station that did not have a union.
Where does Sinclair's talking head stand on the issues? He's only too happy to tell you. First, it's the victim's fault.
3 major cable news channels continue to sensationalize a handful of missing persons or mystery murder cases. The details are nearly always the same. The victim is young, female, attractive, and white. The coverage of these stories often ignores a very important element: personal responsibility. By exercising sound judgment, most of these victims could have avoided their tragic endings.
Also, Hyman says the groups that defend our civil liberties are anti-American.
The American Criminal Liberties Union fancies itself as the protector of individual rights. The reality is, the ACLU is a bunch of ambulance chasers with an extremist agenda.
Mark Hyman may be a nice guy in person. You see, I'm not one of those members of the angry left he likes to rail about. In fact, sometimes I just want to reach out and pinch his handsome cheeks. Let's face it, Mark Hyman and his right-wing pals who run Sinclair have created a profitable propaganda machine for the far-right interests of corporations. The Center for Public Integrity found that 95% of Sinclair's large campaign contributions since 1998 have gone to corporate-friendly Republicans.
We've heard people don't want to come to work here because they've heard about the notorious reputation of Sinclair Broadcast Group.
And as far as that sex scandal I mentioned, it's not relevant to this story or to Mark Hyman directly. So out of respect for the family of the Sinclair leader involved, we won't rehash it here. Sinclair Broadcasting depends on local advertising for its survival. That means the company can be held accountable. This is where you come in. On our website at libertynewstv.com, you'll find a link listing all of Sinclair's local television affiliates. You probably have one in your backyard. Get up off the couch right now and log on. Find out which local advertisers support your Sinclair affiliate. Let them know you will boycott their business until Sinclair starts offering equal time for opposing viewpoints to Mark Hyman's tirade, labels its commentaries clearly, and takes care of its workers. Keep in mind that the local employees of Sinclair are not the problem. Many of them are fine and dedicated journalists who want to do their jobs.
I mean, I would like to see our effort here not just help the 50 people in our unit, but help people at other Sinclair stations know that they do have a choice. They can organize and speak out against bad treatment by Sinclair. These people behind me get it. Our workers and the people from other unions in the greater Portland, Maine area, they understand the importance of this fight.
After all, isn't that the point? Liberty News TV depends on the support of viewers like you, not corporations. Visit our website at libertynewstv.com and let us know you care.